Oh y'all, what's up and popping? I am doing coverage right now on everything. So we are downloading stuff from today's news. So I'm gonna do like a little editing with y'all. That's what I'm gonna do. So yeah. So I'll be here for a minute. I gotta start doing little stuff. And one thing I'm gonna be covering is um about black media stuff or whatever too. It be really killing me these days. Like, I'm trying to cover this tonight, I guess. Really have a trying to figure out like, y'all we have like okay, so she throwing me off talking about her topic. I don't know what the fuck she's saying. God damn. Strong ass accent. What's going on? Ma'am, hold on, ma'am. Ma'am, okay, thank you. Okay, cut it off. Anyway, so lately, right, I'm not sure if y'all have seen y'all algorithms. Have y'all seen your algorithm? But my algorithm is going like really crazy. Like, of course, like I got the algorithm of really like, um black culture, hip hop, music. I love that the singer Kirby, Black Leaves. I love stuff like that. Of course I get like usual, spam shit, whatever. But lately, usually I get Tasha K, Armand Williams. I get like an algorithm of like different things, O'Shea and Antonio Speaks. But lately, last couple of weeks, maybe like 2 weeks, whatever. I have been seeing a very much influx of Africans like covering the diaspora war. I have seen a lot of Africans covering like black stuff, like black culture things. And I'll that's gonna be one thing that you'll see me like here for a while tonight. Is that's gonna be one thing I'm gonna cover, like go through and you'll see me doing like a little editing or whatever. Then you will see like some of the videos that I be on here. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna chop them up and then play some back. But it's just so weird to see, like how they're using, what I'm saying, our issues and our stuff that's going over here, and you can tell they don't give a fuck about it when they looking at it. They don't give a fuck about it. I mean, I think I see like maybe one African that's doing it, and she actually stops and she actually understands our fight and what we going through is Black Americans, what we have went through, what the lineage the lineage is of about FBA, and why we don't want to be called African. She understands the whole thing. I get it. She breaks it down. She gives like good commentary. But some of them will just be playing every video off of TikTok that's black inspirational videos, and they just sitting there just smiling and laughing. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You know? And it makes me uncomfortable. Because I'm trying to figure out what the fuck y'all doing. Why you can't cover what's going on in Africa? The fuck? We can't fuck it. I mean, you don't like us like that. We've already established this. We've established it. We've established it. You know. And I'm a part. I thought I would never be I thought I'd never. I told my best friend earlier. I thought I would never be the type of person that would cover anything about Donald Trump. I don't agree with that man. For far as I can see him or throw him. And but two things can be right at the same damn time. See, but you cannot come over to another country, and it gets me. I'm gonna go over this tonight too. I'm gonna go here. I gotta start doing videos, but it gets me too with this whole like. I'm gonna do some like little videos about Ilhan Omar or whatever from Minnesota. It gets me. I was telling my best friend earlier, like, you know, I would have never thought I would ever. Well, I do. I've seen it before, but you was just white people. But how do you come to another country, tell people that they are lazy, ain't shit, be rude, and then you infiltrated an entire city, black neighborhoods, use a system, you know, and get caught up in fraud, and you know what's going on. Give a fuck about you being a congresswoman or whatever. See, at first, when you got over here, as black people, we just said, oh, we all black. You know what I'm saying? But no, 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 no. Your people let us be known that they all on TikTok. They saying, no, we are Somalian. We are okay, okay. Okay. I know black again. Okay. Since you ain't no black, And it gets me. So I just have like questions for Ilhan because like, why would you do that? Why? Because I believed in the bitch at first. I did. I believed in her. Believed in that bitch. Believed in it. And you came and turned us around all overnight. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand, like the video you go see with Eden tonight, I'll be online for a little while tonight. The video you see me with Eden tonight, it's gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? You have to understand when you come over to any country, anywhere, anyhow, you have to be respectful. It's true. You gotta be respectful. You gotta respect that culture. I told my best friend earlier. I cannot go to Ghana, Africa, Nigeria, France, whatever, and do the same shit I do over here in America. I can't go do that because I'm gonna go to jail over there. Because they got rules and regulations. And they'll deport you too. Okay. The fuck? They ain't asking for them Americans. What's wrong with you? She told it's like broke. It's not broke. It's on a retrieve session. Okay. What the fuck it is. So I'm gonna go through TikTok first. But yeah, it's good to have sometimes, y'all, it's good to have like good conversations and stuff like that, you know. And then, also conversation with your friends to at least update and see what people's feelings are and see what people's emotions are. So, they can like, you can grow. No, it didn't take it out. My bad. I didn't mean to put TS in there. This is not it. Sorry. In my description thing, I had put TS. It was like I had did a. That was not it. I had did a video on the T.S. Madison interview with her mom, and it was really good. So I had covered that. Oh y'all, my stomach didn't turn. I'm just all upset. It's all right. I'll be okay. I tell you, this bitch, I get it was full. You gonna know about it. Black leaves on the Mississippi line, and we got God and cotton. We got God. Okay, let's go check out this one.
On this edition of FAFO titled Nurse.
Okay, hold on. So I have to go in. Let me see. No. Black leaves on the Mississippi River. Black leaves on the Mississippi line. And we got God and cotton. We got God. And we ain't got no culture, bitch. We been had culture, Lucy, hoe. Fuck, your mama ain't got no culture, Lucy, bitch. Dad's ain't got no culture. Your mama. Don't you disrespect my people, bitch. Let me see. Okay. Okay, so this is, I'm not trying to find topics to talk about. I think my energy is kind of gone for like it's not gone at all for FBA. It's not gone. I just think I'm kind of overwhelmed. Not overwhelmed, but kind of like I'm on my 15-minute break. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. I'm on my 15-minute break. Literally 15-minute break. Literally, I'll be right back at it 20 minutes later. So this right here is FAFO season going on what's going on over here? This is FAFO season going on TikTok. So let's see. And then I go back and chop this up. I gotta go downstairs to get me something. Let's look.
This is for Trump.
Trump, you were on my last nerve, and I have been a fan from the beginning. I was all for MAGA, whatever the fuck. Make America great again, right? Can't make America great if you ain't got nurses, right? Because apparently they're not professionals now, right? Apparently they have not made The Trump administration lists for professional jobs. They left nurses off. I don't know if that was a mistake, but I know they got a proofreader somewhere doing their job. So, what do you mean nurses are not professionals? People that are saving lives. Are you kidding me right now?
So Nurse Karen over there sounds very upset because the Department of Education has deemed some career fields, when it comes to getting access to loans and loan forgiveness programs, as, quote, non-professional. And many critics say that this will deter a lot of people from pursuing those type of fields. And as a country with a very, very terrible medical system, a potential shortage of nurses is very devastating. But going back to Nurse Karen, I wouldn't trust you if I was one of your patients. Because to me, I think nurses are probably one of the most selfless professions out there. You're out there tending to and taking care of people's health. And since Karen voted for this guy that's currently in the office, it makes me wonder if she would actually care for someone that was undocumented if they came into her hospital. Because it sounds like you're really upset that this is affecting you directly, but you didn't think about all the other policies that are affecting other people. And to you specifically, Karen, since your job is deemed non-professional now, I guess your degree means that you can go and play the game of Operation. And I'm talking about this game. Anyways, thoughts and nursing scrubs to you. And have the day that you voted for. Bye.
Hey, Chloe will be in charge tonight.
What? Sorry?
You're
you
in
want
charge.
me to be in charge tonight? Like, the person responsible for all of you.
The Department of Education recently made one of the dumbest decisions ever regarding healthcare. They decided that nurses, nurse practitioners, physician assistants, occupational therapists, and physical therapists, among others, are no longer considered professional degrees. Not only is this extremely insulting to some of the most integral healthcare providers that we have, but it will also likely impact staffing of these types of practitioners. We're currently facing an extreme nursing shortage, and it's only going to get worse over the next several years. Now, there are a lot of reasons for this, but one big one is burnout. Surveys show that 4 in 5 nurses face extreme stress while at work. And this has only been made worse after the pandemic, where you get stupid people who don't respect them and will even assault nurses. And staffing shortages, partly caused by poor reimbursements from insurance companies to hospitals, cause these nurses to have to handle many more patients than they can safely handle. Now, on top of that, the Department of Education, headed by former WWE executive Linda McMahon, is now calling them no longer professionals. And this will limit the amount of federal student loans that nursing students can take out. Now, this can't make the nursing shortage worse, could it? Now, the fact is that nurses are the most important part of the hospital system. Yes, even more important than physicians. If all the nurses were to quit their job today, the hospital system and healthcare would fall apart literally within minutes. But if you think about it, if all the doctors would quit today, then nurses can actually keep this shit going for a while. And then you take physical therapists, all of them whom now are required to get a doctorate in physical therapy to practice. They too will be limited in the federal student loans that they can take, so that they literally will not be able to actually pay for schooling. I think Linda McMahon may have had too many DDTs and stone cold stunners that she has lost her freaking mind.
What's going on with your health problems? I just thought I could, handle it, but I guess my heart is not.
What's going on with your
strong
heart?
enough. I just got holes in my heart, so the anxiety and stuff like that, it makes my heart just.
There's the
go
door.
crazy.
The Trump administration has decided that nursing degrees will no longer qualify as professional degrees. What does that mean? Regulatory decisions surrounding the Big Beautiful Bill will no longer classify nursing degrees, among other fields of study, as professional degrees, which will limit some students from accessing funding for their education. Trump's Big Beautiful Bill, aptly named for its hundreds of pages, passed in July 2025. The bill set broad policies in areas such as healthcare and taxes, while leaving several regulatory details to individual departments to determine. One of those departments, the Department of Education, was tasked with defining new federal student loan rules. In early November 2025, the department convened the Reimagining Improving Student Education RISE committee to conclude a negotiated rulemaking session aimed at placing common sense limits and guardians on future.
So the Department of Education announced that nursing is no longer considered a professional degree, which is kind of ironic considering that the people who are making these decisions are old people who are soon to be going to be screaming for their nurse to change their bedpan. But I digress, and as someone who's a nurse, I want to go over some things that make nursing very unprofessional, because it makes a lot of sense. Number one, as nurses, we save lives, and that is so overrated. Who cares anymore that you dedicate your entire career to saving people's lives? It's not like if we all quit our jobs, the entire healthcare system wouldn't collapse on itself, because it definitely would. And number two, we don't just save people's lives, we keep people alive. But I saw on the list that they consider chiropractics professional, but not nursing. So honestly, in the ICU, just fire all of those ICU nurses. They're just a waste of money. Just put chiropractors in there and just have them adjust every patient. And then all of a sudden, I bet they'll get better patient outcomes than whatever we could do,
I'm a Trump supporter and a nurse, but what he just passed, we need to talk about. Before anybody comes for me, I'm not here to argue politics. I'm here.
You're not here to speak politics, but you just came on here and told us what Donald Trump, our president, just did. Okay, next.
Nurses deserve the truth. Under the new Department of Education rule, tied to the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, graduate nursing programs are no longer classified as professional degrees. So for anyone who doesn't understand why this matters, MP school, CRNAs, nurse educators, just to name a few, it costs way more than the basic master's degree. This makes it much harder for nurses to go back to school. Yes, I know what supporters are saying. It's about limiting debt. It's about pressuring schools to lower.
Okay, I have to stop you there. Here's what it's about. Nursing is the first one they just slashed from being not professional. Guess what the other ones are that are on the chopping block? Nursing, right? Teachers, social workers. What gender predominantly takes over those three fields? Women. Yeah, that's the number one thing, okay? The number two thing is that if they make it non-professional, federal funding will be limited. Okay, so none of y'all will get any kind of grants and any kind of federal funding for your schooling. Not like the shit was any good anyway.
Come on, Bookie Bud. Come on, get this report, honey, because I got to go. I mean, you're lucky that I even stayed till 7 because today was a damn shit show.
Baby, if she don't sound like Green's cornbread and sound like she ain't recently had a fresh black cock, bitch. All right. So anyway, welcome to the stream. I am just actually scrolling through TikTok, and we are. I typed in nurses, so this is how I go and find different topics to talk about. I'm gonna go through something else too, so I'll be on for a while. But if you're here, hit like, hit subscribe. And we're just looking at the nurses that was recently the profession was taken down. Trump made it unprofessional now. So it's a big topic, and I think it was the wrong way to go that he made decisions. Some things he doing, I'm alright with, and but this right here was the wrong way to go because our nurses save lives. So yeah, as I'm gathering this for a topic, you can get just sitting in on it. So let's see what you got to say.
First of all, your guy in 3, every time I turn around, he want this colostomy emptied. Well, listen, I done hooked him up, honey. I done put the suction tubing right up in the bag, clamped it down, and shit is flowing now, honey. He good. And then 13A, they good and all. But they daughter, She wanted 70,000 cups of ice water, and by the last time I told her she could get it for herself. Well, she ain't like that. She said she was going to report me, and I told her, whoop-de-doo. Well, I was all kind of bitches and hoes and shit. Now she waiting in the room for the nurse manager, so there's that. Then, homeboy with the trach, he told me that speech told him he could have a little drink in his trach. So he asked me for some cranberry juice. I just did what he asked me to do, but honey, I had to press the button and, you know, to make the noise, and all the people started running. It was a lot of them up in there. I don't even know what I was doing because I barely work here. So after about an hour, I had to leave because I had shit to do. So last time I checked, he was still here, but you may want to go in and check on him. You may want to check on him. Honey, I got to go. I got to go. I done did my fair share for today. So, Nurse K checking out. Come on, Bookie Bud. Come on, get this report, honey. Come on, Bookie.
I just want to come through with a quick word really quick. Now, I'm responding this morning because over the weekend, my responses to this video in my head were Kanye Tupac level. That's the type of rant I was going to go on. But then I just came down and now I'm kind of like here at like Jay-Z. And speaking of Jay-Z, in the words of Sean Carter, he once said, "Do not argue with a fool, because from afar, people can't tell who is who." And that's how I feel about the people who are making videos saying that the Department of Education's decision about the profession of nursing is good for us, one, and for two, you know, shouldn't really matter. It's frivolous, you know, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't change things. Some people have been so delusional. This is the main rhetoric I'm seeing, to believe that tuition is going to be drastically lowered because of the faucet being turned off. Actually making videos. And I said I wasn't going to put any of these people in my videos because they're just stupid. But, I mean, I saw a surgeon making a video saying, "Oh, you know, why do you know, you guys shouldn't care. So what? They don't call you professionals. You know, it was never actually classified as a professional degree anyway." Listen. And you guys saying this is clickbait. We're all doing this for clickbait. Listen. Our main association, the American Nurses Association, was the first organization to speak out against this. If it didn't matter and it was frivolous, they wouldn't be putting out a press release. These are some of the smartest nurses in the nation that work for that organization. I think they know more about the direction this is heading in for nursing than the surgeon does. Or a teacher who spoke out saying, "You know, it's because it's been unlimited student loans," which is not true. There always was a cap. There always was a cap on how much you can borrow for each degree. It never was true that student loans totally covered everything. For my graduate programs, I had to pay out of pocket for some. In some semesters, I ended up paying out of pocket. That's neither here nor there. But this is the type of delusional thinking that sets us back. Nursing, let me make this very clear for you. Nursing was never listed as one of the professional degrees. I see you guys going to Google and putting that up there, that it just was medicine and dentistry and law or whatever the case may be. That's fine. But it was never purposely, it always was treated as a professional degree. So we didn't have any problems when it came to graduate nursing because it was always treated as a professional degree. Now they have specifically said this is not a professional degree. Now it's a shame that we had to break that down to y'all. They specifically said that it's not. It's always been out there. We're treating this as a profession. No, it's not actually classified as one, but we had no...
Says that nursing is no longer a professional degree. But the question is, why? So in case you haven't heard, a nursing degree is no longer considered a professional degree, according to President Trump. And there's actually reasons for it that I had to do a little bit of research on. So I want to touch on why it's being reclassified now and the financial implications it's actually going to have. Now, on the surface, when I first heard this, my immediate thought was, well, that doesn't make any sense at all. So naturally, I questioned it, but then I started to do research on why this would even be a thing. Now, it actually has a lot to do with this guy, the One Big Beautiful Bill. In the One Big Beautiful Bill, there were changes that were made to student loans. Two big ones, actually. The first one is the Graduate Plus loan that's been a part of student loans for years is now being eliminated. And secondly, the maximum amount of debt that a parent can take out with the Parent Plus loan has also been reduced. So you have a graduate loan that's been completely eliminated and a Parent Plus loan where the limits were actually taken down. Now, one of the main reasons for this change is because of the student loan crisis that we're seeing in America. By the time most college students are done with school, they're buried in student loan debt, and a lot of it seems insurmountable. So how exactly do you address it? And that's why the Graduate Plus loan was eliminated and the Parent Plus loan limits were lowered. Because the idea is if we can give less access to student loans, students won't be buried in debt forever. So why then is nursing no longer considered a professional degree? Well, the answer to that is simple. If it's no longer classified as a professional degree, anybody that's going to nursing school has limited access to the government funding they can actually take for going to school. And so because of that, they're not buried in student loan debt by the time they finish up their nursing degree. Now, the next natural question that comes up is if nursing...
What's going on with your health problems?
I just thought I could, handle it, but I guess my heart is not.
What's going on with your heart?
Enough. I just got holes in my heart, so the anxiety and stuff like that, it makes my heart just.
There's the door.
Crazy.
Guess which degrees are suddenly not considered professional? Nursing, nurse practitioners, physician assistants, counseling and therapy, social work, public health, education. Almost every single one is a female-dominated field.
It's really scary how fast people are willing to believe these paid shows. Spent the last couple of hours looking into this. I heard from Democrats, I heard from Republicans, and then I actually went and heard from the Department of Education and looked into the facts. This is the current definition of a professional degree. Same one that was under the Biden administration. In fact, this is the same definition that was made in 1965. And it says a degree that signifies both completion of the academic requirements for beginning practice in a given profession and a level of professional skill beyond that normally required for a bachelor's degree. Professional licensure is also generally required. Examples of a professional degree include, but are not limited to, and nowhere does it say nurse. Well, according to the Department of Education's internal definitions that have really nothing to do with us, nursing has never been considered a professional degree. This is the proposed rule change by the Trump administration. Again, none of it says anything about nursing. They simply want to add that examples of a professional degree include, but are not limited to, the same exact professions. One Big Beautiful Bill capped graduate loans, and most nurses get a 4-year undergraduate degree that will not have caps. Trump administration says that 95% of nurses already borrow below the annual threshold. That placing a cap on loans will push the remaining graduate nursing programs to reduce their program costs. Because ultimately, capping student loans is also going to cap universities for how much they can charge. Students will not be able to go to universities if they can't take out loans for it, so these colleges are going to have to reduce their price. But also, it is important to remember that the loan limits are limited to graduate programs and have no impact on undergraduate nursing programs. 80% of the nursing workforce does not have a graduate degree. I've never heard people complain about nursing not being considered a professional degree before. Next time something like this happens, ask yourself, am I actually mad about this, or is someone being paid to make me mad about this? There is a lot to be critical of our government for, but sorry, I do not believe this is one of those things. But as always, let me know your thoughts about this and make sure you're following me for more.
Oh, I was just checking to see if nursing was professional again or not. No? Okay, let me give y'all a report. I goes into 26. He in there but don't worry, I took care of him. He on 10 liters, non-rebreather. He good, wheezy peasy. The doctor ordered Zosyn and LR for $15. I tried to tell him, but who am I to argue with the professionals? He in there asleep now. And old girl in 12, her H&H was 6 and 20 this morning. They were saying something about her needing some type of blood. I went to try to find the blood bank. I couldn't find it. So I told her when a real nurse came in that she'll hook her up. You got her, right? And you know, old dude in 21, one who strangled his whole family and set the house on fire. I went in there to see him. He told me, bitch, you better get me a motherfucking snack. This bitch fetched him a snack. I couldn't tell you nothing else about him because I ain't go back in that motherfucker after that. No. Nurse K checking out.
Nursing degrees, professional nursing degrees, whether you're a nurse practitioner or regular nurse, have been proposed to be declassified by the Trump administration. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, this got everything to do with Trump trying to come after the Department of Education and all of that. True, however, we have been talking about for about 5 years now the scams that's been going on with the nursing degrees, the major scams. I'm talking about nursing degrees that are being given out right next to a Piggly Wiggly and a store that looks like a Chinese restaurant. And people are paying $30,000, $40,000, whether they're paying cash, whether they're getting loans or Department of Education loans, fast food. And these schools that are in Chinese restaurants, as soon as you walk into the door, the bell ring because they right next door to the grocery store, Martin's, Kroger, are giving out nursing degrees, and then these nurses are going into the hospitals. And here's the thing, not knowing what the hell they know, patients are not making it out. Labor and delivery is getting so much heat right now because guess what? They got unqualified nurses that have been given degrees because they gave a school a federal loan. The school doesn't have to honor the federal loan as long as the student signs the paperwork to say that I got the degree. So they have declassified a profession that is really needed, all because of these schools that found a way around the system to scam the Department of Education to give out nursing degrees to people that are killing people. And COVID was one of the reasons that made them get behind it. Watch this old program that we showed y'all 3 years ago. Let's go.
24 people, a group of school administrators and recruiters, have been accused in a wire fraud operation to sell phony nursing degrees, creating what prosecutors describe as a shortcut around educational requirements set by the state nursing boards.
They prepared and sold fake nursing school diplomas and transcripts to nursing candidates, knowing that the candidates would use those false documents to, one, sit for nursing board examinations.
The investigation, known as Operation Nightingale, feds issued warrants in 5 states and say that 3 schools were involved, all in Florida: Sacred Heart Institute, Siena College of Health, and Palm Beach School of Nursing. All 3 institutions have since shut down, so efforts to reach them were unsuccessful. But federal investigators allege between 2016 and 2021, more than 7,600 students obtained fake degrees, paying out about $15,000 each for a total of $114 million.
These allegedly fraudulent documents may have allowed nurses to serve in critical healthcare roles.
More disturbing, authorities estimate about a third of the people that received fake diplomas, or nearly 2,300 people, are actually practicing nursing right now.
Let's leave the administration out of this. Every other professional degree, even a psychologist, is still classified as a professional degree. And I personally don't believe that a psychology degree really deserves all that energy, okay? Now, if you got a professional degree like a doctor's degree and you're actually becoming a therapist, a clinical psychologist, then fine. But sociology and psychology, that needs to be debated on. But here's the thing. Now, a lot of people can argue with this because there are nurses that have done their jobs. There are nurses that have not taken the shortcut and not gotten their degrees off the side of the road in a Chinese restaurant, okay? Nice to school, giving out professional degrees, scamming the Department of Education. This has been going on. This is just one. This is just one indictment. There are millions. So here's the thing. Why should they classify them as professional degrees if they're able, because there's approximately about 100,000 nurses right now, according to the Justice Department working in the field now that obtained a fake degree, which means they learned on the job. So why would they need to classify that as a professional degree if they're learning on the job like CNAs? Man, bye. Ground it up in a powder. I put it in, you can put it in your water, you can put it in your coffee. I like to take it in my smoothies because I don't like to taste it. It tastes like, you can actually use this to
This is a
Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting.
Okay, so this is why I love
All right,
my
y'all.
people.
So we're gonna pause for a moment. If you are here, you can also hit that like and subscribe. I am just actually scrolling through, finding out stories. So that right there was covering the nurses degrees being unprofessionalized by Trump. So yeah, let's go into this is just I'm gonna do like a little bit of my for you, and we're gonna let that scroll for a minute, see what's going on while I'm downloading other videos, and then I'm gonna start getting to the topics of the Africans taking over YouTube with black culture topics. Check these out.
Oh, y'all was clocking tea like I was clocking tea. But those of y'all that don't know, Africa, it's about 4 or 5 countries in Africa that over the past year alone, 12 months, have been decolonizing. Decolonizing, right? Now, when I first heard that shit, I said, ooh, decolonizing. This not gonna go well. And the reason why is there was always this ambiguity in the air.
But we know baby stories of people having kids and baby daddies. We know baby stories of people going
But you can't
together.
really come in time. You can't. What can you do because you got a baby? I mean, nothing. But if you marry and we have a bad divorce, are you gonna take my money?
There's ways to protect yourself. If your baby daddy sign your birth certificate, if they want to be problematic, they can be problematic there too. That is law binding.
How about coming to get the kid? Because you could come
or fighting for the kid.
You can. You
ain't giving your son up. You can somewhere crying, cussing. I'll be watching your 45-minute rant like that. I ain't even I ain't talking about for the weekend. I ain't talking about for the weekend. When they want to be, if somebody wants to be problematic, they can be problematic with whatever piece of life you give them. Make your marriage what you want it to be. If you want to do a spiritual ceremony, I'll celebrate that with you too. But mama not doing that.
No,
somebody gonna have to give me their name.
I agree.
Yeah.
Self-control. Let me make that real for you, sisters. We can start with our mouth. A good black woman can control her mouth. She don't have to say everything that comes up. It's okay if he get the last word sometime. You know, she don't cuss in public. And she works on not cussing in private. She don't tear a man down with her mouth because they can't out-argue us. Can't nobody out-argue us. I have charged that we nag our men too much. We keep our men's head tied up so much with our petty grievances about our personal relationship that he don't have time to think and plan for our future. Because he got to deal with what's going to happen with us every day. You know, it's real odd. When the black man come home, he almost have to do a wind test or stick his toe in the door. He don't know what's waiting.
I'm praying catch me.
Just cool.
We can go.
Some people decided to go to Target yesterday for Black Friday in light of a national call for a boycott of the business. And karma showed up in full force if you've seen any of the social media posts about it. One social media user posted that they arrived at a Target at 3 a.m. to be in line for a special Black Friday swag bag for the first 100 customers. After waiting in line for hours in the cold, they were given a bag with a set of Uno cards and a couple other cheap items. And hundreds of other users are complaining that Target didn't have any sales. They simply increased the prices and reduced them back down. One customer shared that Target was advertising Christmas trees for 50% off yesterday. When she peeled back a sticker that employees had placed over the product, the original price on the product was less than the 50% off. Another customer shared that they went to Target for a Black Friday doorbuster deal on a TV. When they got there, they saw a sign behind the sales sign. They looked at it and it was the same price it had been last week. Target continues to suffer as it betrayed its primary consumer base by reversing DEI. Yet it thinks the solution to bringing them back is investing $5 billion in its stores, collabing with Starbucks on a specialty drink, and apparently deceiving its customers.
Kat from the state of Florida. She participates in the Affordable Care Act marketplace and deals with multiple chronic health issues, such as ADHD and kidney issues.
After her kidney issues began in 2022, Kat's health made full-time work nearly impossible.
I did end up.
This edition of F.
On today's episode of You Fucked Around, So You Had to Find Out, we have Willie from the state of North Carolina. Now, what did Willie do that caused him to go into the find out phase? Well, he voted for that orange tyrant in that big gaudy gold office. Not only was Willie stopped once by ICE, he was stopped twice, and on the second time he was stopped at a completely different time. They smashed in his windows, pulled him out of his vehicle, and forced him to the ground. Now, a few hours later, Willie was released, but he said that he voted for that man because he thought he would be good for the economy and would only go after the criminals. And now he said he greatly regrets his vote and sees that he is only going after people if they look Latino. Now, when immigration officers were questioned why they smashed in his window and forced him to the ground, they said that he became erratic and stopped answering questions, even though Willie claims he was telling them that he was an American citizen. It really is sad seeing so many people out there that voted against their own best interest, and hopefully they have learned their lesson, can remain safe, and vote better next time. But honestly, that man and the people in his cabinet said exactly what they were going to do. It was all listed right there in, what was that called? Project 2025.